Why does the conflict in Ukraine persist despite numerous efforts to resolve it? To shed light on this question, let's delve into the recent peace summit that took place in Switzerland. The two-day summit, aimed at ending the war in Ukraine, concluded with a surprising twist. Key powers such as India, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, and the United Arab Emirates refrained from signing a joint communiqué agreed upon by over 80 other countries and organizations. Despite the absence of Russia and China, the summit was not without its highlights. Ukrainian President Zelensky presented a 10-point peace plan, calling for an end to hostilities and the withdrawal of Russian troops from Ukraine. Backing this plea, US Vice President Kamala Harris announced a staggering $1.5 billion aid package for Ukraine. The summit reiterated global commitment to Ukraine's territorial integrity and peace, with discussions revolving around nuclear power plants, nuclear weapons, and the return of displaced civilians to Ukraine. Yet, the summit was tainted by the conspicuous absence of Russia, a key player in this conflict. Russian President Putin maintained his peace plan, which includes demands for Ukrainian troop withdrawal and abandonment of NATO aspirations, a proposal that US National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan criticized as morally unjust. The summit, while being a stage for nations to express their support for Ukraine, also highlighted the growing isolation of Russia. Even China, a traditional ally of Russia, sent a representative to the summit, indicating a possible rift between the two powers. On a different note, the G20 members agreed to refer to Russia's invasion of Ukraine as the war in Ukraine, seen as a concession to Putin. This acknowledgement of the conflict as a war upholds principles of international law, despite the diplomatic language used. The summit and subsequent events have had far-reaching implications, not just for the countries directly involved in the conflict, but also for global markets. The stalling peace talks and the possibility of an EU embargo on Russian oil exports have led to a surge in oil prices, with Brent crude futures rising by over 3%. In summary, the peace summit in Switzerland highlighted the global concern over Russia's aggression in Ukraine and reaffirmed commitments to Ukraine's territorial integrity and peace. Yet the absence of key powers like Russia and China and the refusal of some countries to sign the joint communiqué points to the complex and challenging path to peace. As the world watches, the question remains, when will the conflict in Ukraine end and at what cost?